Case 39 is a hidden gem. That's not to say nobody has heard of this film. It's got 80,000 reviews on IMDb with a score of 6.2. But if I were to ask somebody, what's your favourite Renee Zellweger film? Very rarely, if ever, would this film be mentioned. Surprisingly, despite the positive IMDb score, it's got a Metascore of 25. I'm going to ignore that because I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was released in 2009, directed by Christian Alvart and written by Ray Wright, and stars, of course, Renee Zellweger. Interestingly, this is a thriller. I think this is one of, if not the only, thriller from Renee Zellweger that I've seen. I'm not 100% confident about that, but I think that's true. The narrative from this is so exciting. So the description from IMDb, one sentence, sums it up so well without giving any spoilers. I will not spoil anything. But this says, a social worker fights to save a girl from her abusive parents, only to discover that the situation is more dangerous than she ever expected. Jodelle Ferland plays Lillith. I love the name. And I love the character. She's a very fascinating character, and I guess is quite complicated. This is a thriller, as I said, a horror thriller. It takes quite a dark turn pretty quickly. I also really love Emily, played by Zellweger, who is the social worker. I love films about social workers or TV shows about social workers. And for me, she was just a character I warmed to instantly. Absolutely loved her. I think the development of this is great. It's very eerie. And, you know, I'm a thriller addict. I watch this kind of film all of the time. And this is a really great example of how to do this kind of narrative. It doesn't rely too heavily on insane special effects or anything. It's a very well-told story. And it's very rare nowadays that a horror film will stand on its own 2 feet just based on story rather than, you know, other kind of special effects. And it does it very well. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I cannot fault this. It's atmospheric. The soundtrack is great. The sound effects are brilliant. Acting's very well good. Jodelle Ferland's brilliant. Renee Zellweger, obviously fantastic. The narrative is surprising. I would say it's quite unpredictable at times. It's not one where I could have predicted the ending 10 minutes in. You know, there are films like that and they're not very good. But this one I really thoroughly enjoyed. I don't believe it won any awards. It had 3 nominations but no wins. But I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's an absolutely beautiful film. Apparently had a budget of 26 million. I'm curious to find out how much of that went to Renee Zellweger. Not my business. It's really great. It's a lot of fun. If you like things like Orphan, or basically any horror or thriller that involves a child protagonist, I think you'll like it. It might be my favourite Renee Zellweger film. Absolutely, if you like horrors, thrillers or mysteries, Case 39 is one you need to watch.